Hey guys, it's Rabbit here. I'm back with another Starcraft Broodwar Remastered cast. It has been a little while. We're slowly but surely getting back into the swing of things. I have a snow game for you today. He's playing against a barcoded Terran. We have Snow here in the bottom left of Eclipse, playing under his Smurf alias Huang So Jukiri, or however you pronounce that. And yeah, I think these games are kind of all played on the same day. We have a little mini series for you today, and I'm pretty sure there can be some goofy shenanigans to be expected from Snow. Here we already see the proxy pylon. So if I could coin, I mean, I haven't watched these replays yet. I'm just telling you based on what I expect. I reckon this could be some pretty goofy games here. So let's see how we go. I was actually watching CNSC, who is my StarCraft buddy's live stream, and I just switched it off to switch on Broodwar myself and start to record a few games. It is a very, very hot Sunday afternoon in Melbourne, Australia, and I was like, you know what, I cannot go outside, I cannot do anything else, so let me use this time to bank up some Broodwar content. So the cheekiness of Snow doesn't stop with a proxy gateway. He also does the mana pylon, and pretty much all the other mean stuff that you can do as a Protoss who is taking an opponent and trolling them for whatever reason. I think he's going double racks here, so that's his response to this early pressure from Snow, which is, I think, the correct thing to do. The other theory is that you expand, but then again you've got to hold off the attack as a second mana pylon. This is becoming somewhat comical. And what's this? A shield battery. Okay, so he's building the shield battery there, building the mana pylon here. I think this Terran is maintaining his composure. I have visions of the Snow laugh, right? The ha 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 ha. Like I just have this idea in my mind that he's probably playing this on live stream, and he's doing this, although all his buildings are about to die, including his shield battery. And all he's got, in essence, is a pylon that's about to die. He's building two more shield batteries that would be connected to this pylon that's about to go down. And then there's another. So now the Zealot's job is going to be to actually try and protect this pylon so that the shield battery can come up. I'm almost sure a second Zealot should be inbound. There it is. I was going to say, it felt like a second Zealot was due, isn't it? So we have two Zealots here attacking all of the SCVs, the couple of Marines that are coming through. So we're up to 4 Marines now. I think that first Zealot definitely got surrounded and has died. Both of the shield batteries have come up, but unfortunately for Snow, the Terran player has continued to kill the pylons that are powering said shield battery, so trying to buy himself a little bit of time. I'm just going to quickly peek over at his main to see if there's any transition going on here. No, not really, just making a pylon at home and continuing to make workers behind this. So we have a gateway and a dream if we are Protoss. But here we go. So I think the 2 racks production, although they're not blinking continuously, you can see it's predominantly just the 1 racks. But pretty much just committing all his units to killing the pylons, and that's it. Right, so 2 more Zealots in play. I think this is enough Marines to take down. I mean, this Zealot's quite badly hurt, as we can see. So Snow now decides to retreat. My question is, how on earth do you transition out? A little bit of chatter between the players. I'm not as sophisticated as CNC. I'm not going to throw up a translator and try and tell you what they're saying to each other. We'll leave it to the good casters to do that sort of good work. So the shield batteries are all knocked down. Gas is coming up. I really like this for Terran. You know, these 3 Zealots are going to become fairly worthless when the factory comes up. He's taking his gas so that he can now transition into factory tech. Meanwhile, a cannon is coming down here, and I think Snow's plan is going to be to take a Nexus and then tech. But we'll have to see, because I've heard from various people who play Terran that one of the biggest reasons you don't go bio against Protoss is Reaver, but also that a photon cannon just kills an inordinate amount of Marines if you do have a bio force. So my thinking now is Protoss is going to retreat, lose this gateway, lose this pylon, and pretty much have to start over. There is that nexus as predicted. Here is this cannon that should help hold ground. And I expect now he's going to build himself a gateway in his main. Probably take a gas relatively soon himself so that he can transition into Dragoon. And then I think we'll probably see Snow go Reaver from here. Assuming we do transition into some sort of mid-game. So interestingly, hiding his Zealots. I realized just watching, I did a cast of Artosis versus Jumper, best of 5, and it was the first cast I'd done in probably about 6 months. And my watching of the mini-map and my general alertness was just appalling. So we are still getting back into it, and we are still trying to improve. So bear with me if I miss things. I should get back to my old form in the not too distant future. But I am picking goofy series, fun series, things that I almost just would enjoy watching as much as I would enjoy casting them, and then it's kind of like a shared experience, which is pretty fun. So we've run back to the safety of our cannons, plural, and I think this is going to buy Snow heaps of time. So now if you're a Terran, you just take a breath, probably expand, which is what he's doing now, get your factories, plural, up, and just transition now into probably slightly more normal looking PvT. I reckon that's where we're going. 23 workers plays 22. Gas is now up, cybernetics core is on the way, probably another gateway, another 2 gateways coming up. So Snow wants to be able to pump out at least tier 1 gateway units to fight against the factory tech. And if you're Terran, you've just got to, I suppose, patiently now get up to a few factories, decide if you want to take this game long and go. So the starport's coming out pretty early, so this is either a drop play or he's looking to play some sort of upgrade style. Because your starport is the one that enables you to go obviously beyond +1 in terms of your tech tree as a Terran player. So a fun game here. After the initial madness, I think it's kind of calmed down. This is just a containment. I don't think he has any intentions of moving in here. He just wants an early warning of when and what exact technology is going to come out of Snow. I don't see a robo. I do see range. I wouldn't be surprised to see a second gas, although Snow's made a little bit of a mistake here. He's forgotten to transfer workers onto this gas. But I'm thinking a second gas, a robotics facility, just confirming here that he hasn't taken a third, as all good players do, that scouting and that diligence. I think this Dragoon is in for a little bit of a surprise here if he keeps just... Snow's on the money, spots that straight away. So the bunker coming up to fend off any pressure, a couple of vultures. This is a drop. It just feels very drop-ish, doesn't it? You've just made vultures, nothing else, and you're researching. Yes, you are researching siege mode, admittedly. And here do come your first tanks, but to prioritize the vultures just makes me think. And he's positioning here right in front of the starport. Where is that dropship? There it is, right there. Okay, so Rabbit's game sense is slowly coming back into shape. Meanwhile, Snow's deciding, okay, I'm going to send across some ranged Dragoons and Zealots, and I welcome you to try and hold it with a bunker and no tanks. So there's no mines. That was the trade-off here from the Terran player. He's gone siege mode and vulture. He does have a tank up on the high ground, and now perhaps... Is he going to dive on this, or is he just going to contain? It looks like he's diving, but he pulls the SCVs as well to hold off here. We need to keep an eye on our dropship. It's very, very clever that he's kept these 2 Marines here, because this probe is now going to have to run away, and that Nexus is going to be delayed. So that's going to be a little bit frustrating for Snow. Question I have now, and the reason for my hesitation, is what the hell happened to our dropship? There it is. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye on our dropship and see how much damage can get done there. This dropship's about to fly over the path of this probe. I think they're going to miss each other, so that's fortunate. Snow decides to actually expand over here and fake out the expansion over here. So it keeps this probe here. I don't know if he saw that. It's very, very marginal. But anyway, they're inside. I did not see mines get researched. So these are pretty fast vultures though. So perhaps he went speed first. Like I said, the laser eyes were not there to spot the upgrades from the factory. But he has killed, I think, 15 probes with that drop. So if you want my opinion on whether that was a profitable move, the answer would be absolutely. Please don't fly your dropship straight over the Okay, well, he lost the vulture, but the dropship does get away, so that was a little bit fun. So this Terran player is certainly in the lead. Now, it's very unusual to watch a game where Snow loses a PvT. Many consider him to be the best PvT player in the world. But he's certainly not playing too strong of a game here. He's gone for cheese, and it didn't really work. And then his opponent went for a drop that did an enormous amount of damage. So we do have some siege mode here, and I don't think he's going to get much damage here with 5 sieged up tanks. Sends in the Marines for a bit of support. Doesn't have any vultures to buffer for him here though, so Snow is getting a bit of penetration, but these Marines are really earning their money. We did see a robo, but it was for observer tech only. I don't see a support bay anywhere in the main of Snow as this stage. As we can see, he's also had not put all his probes onto mines. Only got one on gas here. So quite a few sloppy mistakes from Snow in this game, to be very honest. Does pull away here with his Dragoons. And this 5-factory production transitioning into a third base, this is certainly Terran's game to lose. He's really in a strong position. I've just managed to spot an incoming drop over here as well. Does have the cannon in play. There's only, what is this? Probably about 9 probes here at this base, so you should be able to pick off a few more. And this just constant harassment and sharpness from this Terran player has been really good. Unfortunately, when they're barcoded, it's very tricky to find out who the players are. Perhaps I should do a little bit more research into knowing who the players are going forward. So it does get his damage, does move out, nicely done. Consolidating his lead. Just basically takes this third for free because Snow is not really in a position to do anything. And now the Terran's job is to just sort of set up a position here, which will help him protect his third base and to push back any containing units that Protoss has in place. Retreating with his goons in the face of facing some mine pressure. And sieges up here, and we'll probably just chill there for now until such time as this base is fully established. A very decent timing on the transition of the workers. Meanwhile, just an observer flying around here going, okay, so we're on 6 factory production. We're about to go. We've just established our third base. We've got 1 armory running. We've got a science facility going, so certainly looking to transition into beyond +1 upgrades. Banking on the game, possibly going into mid-game. But I see a window here where this Terran player can actually just move out and attack. So in terms of tech, Snow hasn't actually progressed beyond tier 1 gateway at this stage. It's got a cybernetics core, and that's about it, just poking in here. The one thing that Snow does have going for him is he is on 4 bases, but he's got really very little by way of units. We've got we have unemployed workers here. We've got 1 on gas over here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gateways here, but no real technology of any kind. No Templar, no Citadel, nothing like that. So I don't really know what his plan is to try and win this game. He's so behind macroeconomically that he's not going to just be able to bludgeon the Terran with tier 1 units and a timing attack. So it's a little bit of a mystery if you're a Snow fan to figure out how exactly he's planning to get out of this. Meanwhile, a very scary clump of mechanical units is moving down to the corner of the map here, I think to set up a position to knock down this base. Snow is posturing around with a somewhat small little pod of Dragoons over here, and he has a pod of Dragoons over here that I don't think stand a chance of coming down this hill in a single file against a whole bunch of siege tanks. So that base is pretty much toast. And Snow actually wisely, in my opinion, just chooses not to engage at all there. And might try and flank here, but there's a lot of mines to delay. So you can see the surround from the 3 angles. There's quite a number of mines here though. So here we go, he does push in to try and flank it from 3 angles. We'll keep the zoom out lens to try and give you a view. So comes in from the top, comes in from the left, comes in from the right. It's probably just too many angles for the tanks to know what to fire. So it does get in a very effective trade here. But still, if we look at our supply counts, 132 plays 108, and a lot of those Dragoons died to mines. So yes, it was a trade. Yes, he's going to hold on to the space. But at what cost? We can see a whole huge wave of orange coming down again for round 2. And Snow really doesn't have much beyond 3 Dragoons to help him here. And this damn tank is still alive. This SUV really is earning his money. Meanwhile, a couple of vultures actually snuck in because of this drop ship. Missed the drop, unfortunately. But that was a very nice double up on the attack, killing every single probe here and really getting good damage. Meanwhile, another engagement in the middle of the map. There's just really not enough Dragoons to be able to hold off this relentless pressure. It's got a few tanks sieged up here. It's going to siege up in the central position. If you take this position as a Terran on Eclipse, Protoss really does get very stuck. So I think we're not too far away from dealing out the death blow. We can produce Dragoons and nothing else as Protoss. That's just not going to do the job against what is soon to become 2-1 mechanical units. So I think he's going to position himself here now up on the natural, or the doorstep of the natural. A little counterpart of Dragoons in and around the main, but I think the rallying factory units should actually quite easily take care of that. So leaving just Dragoon and nothing else to fight against in a very entrenched, strong Terran position. So is engaging here, but there's just too much tank power. I mean, these tanks are so well spread. 4 over here, 4 over here. It does come for the surround, and we'll probably clean up a fair amount of them, but the reinforcing vultures, I think, will really be the equalizer here. So takes down all of those units, and I reckon the next step he's going to just storm the natural. I think Snow realizes he's beat. A couple of little exchanges of words between the two players at this stage of the game. An 8-gate goon against a 3-basing mech army. Just not going to happen, no matter how good a player you are. And I must be honest, this is probably one of the worst games I've ever seen Snow play. Just in terms of transition, no real tech strategy. By the way, I didn't even notice this. Terran's gone up to 4 bases. So just really very strong. So moves out with the last little handful of goons that stand no chance against these entrenched tanks. They all go down, rallying down some more vultures for fun. And that should surely just be the end of that. That is an absolute hammering. So cheesed, held. Good to see Snow GGing and showing a little bit of respect. And that is a very convincing and decisive win for our Terran player. Now, I have a little bit of a surprise for you. These players played again, and for some reason, I can't tell you why, I wasn't there, I wasn't part of the decision making, they swapped races. So Snow decided to play Terran, and the Protoss player decided, or the Terran player in this game, the Barcode, decided to play Protoss. So let's see how that game went. Coming up next. Okay, so as you can see, I wasn't kidding. We're here, we're in Vermeer, and this is Snow in actually a very nice green color, playing Terran, and he's playing against Barcode, who has now switched to play Protoss. So presumably these guys are mates, just goofing around on the ladder, but I mean, the fact that it's ladder and not just custom, it makes me go, maybe not, I'm not sure, but it's kind of funny. They were played all around about the same week, to see these exact same players flipping around. Snow does very occasionally off race as Terran. I haven't seen him ever off race as Zerg. So let's see how we go here. We're starting standard from our Protoss's perspective, just opening with an in-base pylon, which is what you usually do. I'm very curious to know what Snow is going to do as a Terran player. I mean, if he's still in a Troily enough mood and wants to do sort of things, I guess as a Terran, what are your cheese options? There's center racks, there's 2-fac, which is arguably not a cheese, it's just a very aggressive opening. There's a couple of things you can do to try and, I suppose, win a game pretty quickly. But what exactly Snow is going to be wanting to do, I don't know. He is sending an SCV out to the low ground, perhaps just to build a racks on the low ground. So this is just quite a conventional open to try and go econ aggressive. So we'll keep an eye on how it transitions. Our Terran, our Protoss player here, not doing anything unusual. Opening with a gateway gas and his core is just a very standard build. Looks like he's, based on his timings, he's probably going to skip the Zealot We'll see. We've got the 200 minerals for our core. Yep, go straight into core. So it doesn't look like he's going to go with an early Zeta. So just going to do a very standard range opening, or possibly rangeless expand, but does have the probes onto gas. Transfers them immediately. Scouts a little bit later, which the higher S rank players tend to do. They tend to scout after core. Very low level donk players like myself will scout on gateway or even earlier. And then we'll lose our scouting unit and not get any useful information. So as a general rule of thumb, the more skillful you are, the later you can probably afford to scout. And you can see he's controlling this probe all the time. It's not like he's shift clicked or anything like that. Okay, so Snow goes cross map, does find his opponent, is going command center. So this was a gasless expand, which is a very, very, very solid, very, very aggressive, but not what I want to say, it's not non-standard. You see this on ladder a lot. You would expect a bunker now relatively soon as well to hold off against the goon pressure. And the probe is going to scout the second. So he is scouting N style as opposed to go down, across, and up. So he's going to come in here, see the Marines, see the command center under construction. The probe, because he's now been discovered, has going to build, the SCV is going to build himself a bunker. Snow finding it very, very funny that he's going econ, because I guess you wouldn't really expect that from him. The immediate response, which is the correct one, I think, from the Protoss based on the information he's received now, is to go with the 23 Nexus, which is aka a 1 Dragoon expand. So he's kept the range going. He's going to build his Nexus. He's going to get range. And as soon as range finishes, he'll put a little bit of pressure on the bunker. So the timing is of the essence here from a Terran point of view. He does need to get his factory up as soon as possible. Doesn't have the gas or the money for it right now. How many units are in this bunker? Okay, so he's got 3 Marines, which is probably as little as what you can get away with. Does move the bunker, the barracks out of the wall. So I guess a run by does become theoretically more of a possibility. Meanwhile, we have a Dragoon chasing the scouting SCV here. How much gas has our SCV got? He's still got plenty left in the tank. That's good. So we're going with our Robo, probably going to transition into Reaver Tech, or potentially the Robo is only there for Observer. We'll have to just keep an eye on the production tab to see how the tech tree progresses. We do have how many Dragoons on the field? That's pretty good job blocking the SCV coming in to scout the tech. So if you're an SCV here, what you're after, you're looking for a Citadel or any sort of quick sort of tech tree that you need to try and prep for. You need to know, do I need detection, and how quickly it is going academy. So we'll keep an eye on what's happening there. Another Rax here. Oh my word. So Snow has done a beautifully smart little build here where he's made it look like he's gone gasless into factory. But what he's actually going to be doing is Marine Medic. And the first thing he needs to make sure is that this damn bunker doesn't die. He needs to get another SCV on here. There we go. Just in a nick of time. A 4th Goon is going to come through here. It's going to have to hold on and repair this bunker till the end of time. The other thing I'm wondering is... Okay, so he can't see that the command center is not blinking. That would be really good intel. That he can tell. Oh, he's lost the bunker. Oh no, Snow, what have you done? The whole plan was to hold on until you could surprise with a Marine Medic, and now you haven't. So now the tank is... Oh, okay, so he does get siege mode. He's going to have to back out here now. I think he mustn't get too Protossy. Oh, does lose a Goon, and he's going to have to retreat here. So it does lose the bunker, but siege mode does come up just in a nick of time. Meanwhile, a 3rd Rax. So this is an all-in. He's stopped making workers at 27. Doesn't seem to have an intention of making any more. Protoss hasn't really scouted what he's up against here. So it's just merrily probing up. Is going on to 4 gates, and his observatory was for the purposes... Sorry, his Robo was for the purposes of observatory only. And we have an observer out on the map already, and here's where the gig will be up. So we'll just keep an eye on our observer and when he discovers what he's looking at. So he flies in, okay, sees 1, 2, 3, 4 racks and goes, oh, that's unusual. what on earth do we do now? So, decides to move a few Dragoons out. I think the correct response here is just immediately throw down a support bay, and there we see it, and a Citadel. So good counters to this are DTs, although he does have the scanner, and the Robo for the Reaver is a good call. So, does have his Dragoons out on the map. He's got 3 more, so 7 Dragoons against all of this bio. There are no... there's a couple of medics, so there's 2 medics. But I've honestly got no idea how this fight will go, because it's just very, very unpredictable. You don't see this kind of fight very often. So let's see where he targets. He could target the 3rd base. He could storm straight into the natural. Looks like he's going to go natural, and he's sieged up here. He has got his Marines in place. And I just don't think that... What is in the shuttle? Nothing at the moment. I just think he sprung this timing perfectly on the Protoss. He's not going to be able to get a Reaver in play in time. He has done just a total counter. So we're looking at a very, very crazy looking base trade. It's now a case of who's going to kill who the fastest. So, he sacked his main. Sent a few Marines here to sack this 3rd. Protoss, as actually while being attacked, built a couple of a nexus and a few pylons down in the bottom right. So if it does come to a scenario of who's got buildings left over, he will have some in the far corner of the map. He has stopped with the base trade because he sieged up a few tanks up here and pushed out a few Marine units and realized that those Dragoons were not going to get up that ramp and kill him. So I think that Snow's got this. It feels really, really weird to think of a scenario where he played Terran, he went Marine Medic after tricking and siege mode first. I think it was really clever to go siege mode into Marine Medic, but that was really, really crazy. And I suppose the last thing you'd expect in leveling up the series is for it to be a win for Snow as Terran. So to treat you all to a conclusion, I have a deciding game, and they switch back to their regular races, so it'll be Snow as Protoss and Barcode back as Terran. So let's see how that last one goes. Okay, same map, same players, race switch. So we've got this beautiful green Terran again, but this time it's our Barcode playing in his, I think, main race. And of course we all know that Protoss Snow's main race, and he's back to his regular race, Snow that we're used to seeing terrorizing and smashing Terrans left, right, and center. So he has spawned in the bottom right of Vermeer, and he is playing against a unknown Terran player who are 1-all. They are 1-all in a series. It's been a bit of a goofy series. Perhaps a little bit of context. Snow plays under this Huang Sojaguri account name when he's feeling like trolling. So he deliberately tanks the MMR to be a little bit lower than his actual MMR, so he draws weaker players that he can then troll against, and he does it for streaming content. And you know what? Fair enough. It's fun. It's enjoyable. I've cast games of him playing on this account where he's gone Mass Reaver in a PvZ, where he's gone Corsair DT, but like with a massive DTs. You know, and it's actually very, very enjoyable to watch him do these sort of goofy things. So I don't have an issue with it at all. This game, he just seems to be playing a standard opening, no Nexus first, no proxies of any kind. And looks like because he's going for the straight scouts, he's going to find his opponent straight away. And his opponent seems to just be doing a very, very standard gas opening. So it looks like a factory build coming up here. Players very, very chatty, so it leads me to conclude that they certainly do know each other. So that's good. We're going to have our gas. We're delaying our cybernetics core, so making room for the Zealot. We're going to do our core on 16. So it's just a slight variant to the Protoss opening. So you'll see a core on 13 and Zealot skipped. If there is no intention of going Zealot, you get range a little bit faster. You get your first Dragoon a little bit faster. The alternative is you go for an early Zealot, then you get your core, and then you get your range. And you try and do a little bit of damage to the Terran player, either by forcing out some more Marines, killing a few Marines, or perhaps killing 1 or 2 SCVs. And it also blocks the very, very econ aggressive Rax expand. It's a good counter to the Rax expand or the gasless expand that Terrans sometimes do to send the early zealot, which is why I think this meta has evolved. But at the same token, if you don't open with a zealot and you do face a Rax expand, there are other ways that a Protoss can easily transition, you know, taking an earlier third, etc, etc. So our zealot arrives, he sees a couple of marines, so we should see a little bit of marine micro going into little passages that the zealot can't get to, and just holding on here. So my thinking is he's probably going to stall a little bit until his dragoon buddy arrives. Our Terran, by the way, is catching on some shenanigans. I just saw the 2 in the factory production tab on my screen, and I was like, but I don't see the second factory in the base. I have had this happen to me in a ladder game once, obviously not playing against players nearly as good as this, but I scouted a Terran base and I'm like, but I don't see any of your factories, and I got proxy factoried, which if you scout well, it's quite easy to stop, but if you're an imbecile, then it's not. Okay, so nonetheless, we have retreated with our original zealots. We have now got a zealot over here. We've got no units that have scouted this. We do have the 4 marines coming forward. This is quite clever from the Terran. He's very deliberately making it difficult for Snow to see whether he's expanding, and you can see Snow really wants that information. He wants to try and get forward and confirm. So I switched his vision off just briefly, and we can see, or we can, I think, quite safely assume that he has not been able to confirm an expansion. So he's got to suspect something. His Nexus is just finished. He's only on 1 gate production, has not scouted and found what's going on here, and we can see vultures are popping out of this factory. This is kind of all in, considering it's proxy from our Terran. So it's really just a case of how long this is a secret. Once again, it's an observatory only. No robos or support bays have been built in the series at all by either player, although in the previous game a support bay was built, but no reavers were made because the game ended in time. So a couple of smiles, a couple of chats going through. Looks like the attack is inbound. Snow has a zealot and 2 dragoons. He's got 2 gateways. His range is about to finish, and I think he is going to get caught out here by what is a very, very cheesy but very, very good build with the proxy. So suddenly, bang, all of these units converge on him. He's totally been found out. He was not expecting, I think, the second factory. Wasn't able to confirm the expansion, but I just think he assumed that's what was happening. Didn't send a probe out to this corner here yet, which is where his third would have come from. So he's had to retreat up the ramp, but this is just an overwhelming amount of Terran units. Has had to pull his probes, and he's obviously drilling and doing some micro, which is effective, but I just think we have too many tanks here. Sending in reinforcing vultures is obviously going to be very helpful, and needs to take down these dragoons. The mines could be a serious equalizer. Yes, there is an observatory. I don't see any observers at this stage. The micro though from Snow is insane, not taking any damage from the mines, but the tanks are just doing so much good work. But I think Snow has managed to hold on here. He's going to be able to kill these tanks. There we go, kills that one and that one. And now if you're the Terran player, where do you go from here? So Snow held on tight, sending in reinforcing vultures. Got to lay a mine or 2. I think the mines are going to be more effective than trying to fight with vultures. Trying to force his way up this ramp, like bludgeoned it into these dragoons. But that mine does not somehow trip and kill any of them. So great composure from Snow blocking this. Sending in some more vultures from the second factory over here. But I just don't think he's going to do it. So Snow is showing tremendous composure and experience. He's obviously faced it all on ladder in the past. And does manage to hold on, and I think due to the lack of economy alone that this Terran player is probably going to throw in the towel here. Snow's got 2 bases up and running beautifully. He's got his observer tech out, so he could easily expand and take another base, and our Terran player is on 1 base. He's all inning it, and Snow holds on very, very graciously and very, very well to end up taking our little sneaky best of 3 series here 2-1. And that was a lot of fun. So some pretty goofy style StarCraft being played. Always very, very enjoyable to watch them playing this way. And that's going to be, I think, the end of it. I'm just waiting for the players to sort of officially GG it. So he's kept a few pods here, a pod of Dragoons in his main, just in the event of a drop. He's actually getting himself a shuttle, probably to make a Reaver or something like that. We'll have to see. He's going to expand behind this, so perhaps has decided to still try and play this game out. But I think Snow may decide not to let that happen. I think he's going to get himself a critical mass of Dragoons and just march across the map and try and kill the natural. So let's see if that is what he does now. Another very, very speedy Vulture en route. But yep, as predicted, he's going to move across the map, escorted by an observer, just to make sure he doesn't trip any mines and sloppily lose any units. Probably going to pick off this Vulture on his way. No, just leaves him there. No problem. So here is a very, very naked command center, and there is absolutely nothing here to protect him. Walks in the front door. I think he might actually just skip killing the command center. So he'll kill the SCV, walk straight up the door. Hi, Mr. Tank. Goodbye, Mr. Tank. And that'll be the end of that. So a very goofy series, very enjoyable. I love this troll account. I deliberately look for games on here. These were played a little while ago, from I think 2023, early 2023. But I specifically try and bring things that you're probably not going to see every day and put them into like a series form. So that's what we've done here. The players do continue to chat. And finally, our barcoded Protoss signs off. So the little mini series, Snow triumphs 2-1. It was a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to cast. So if you enjoy watching me or watching these kinds of goofy games, do consider subscribing to the channel. I will be making content a little bit more regularly than I have been doing so in recent times. Until next time, take it easy, man. Ciao.